I'm Mike Bredner, and this is Capitol Views, and we have with us Robert Venables from the Southeast Conference, the Southeast Conference.
Yes.
And so, Robert, tell us what the Southeast Conference is all about.
Well, it's a unique organization. It is a blend of both government and private sector organizations, and on the government side, we have both municipal and tribal governments as members, and on the business side, we have all number of different types of businesses, different economic sectors, and different size, from the smallest of the mom and pops to the larger industries that are in the region. So our board of directors geographically dispersed and diverse, and are split up evenly between public and private sector.
Now, as I recall, in the past, energy issues were a prime things and interconnections between two communities or communities.
We have been focused on, energy and transportation has kind of been the cornerstone of what we've been working on since the organization was formed in 1958, primarily around the ferry system, but then, the energy issues took on a very large role since about 2002 when we hired staff to focus on some of that and work on a regional energy plan that included interties where they make sense and renewable energy resource development.
So right now, interties run from Ketchikan to Petersburg,
Correct.
tapping what's Tyee and Swan Lake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's been a very successful venture in southern Southeast, and we've seen the Prince of Wales Island really be able to capitalize on the forest service roads there and develop an electrical intertie system across the island there, and then of course in the north between Haines and Skagway as well.
Now, you got a big book laying on the table there.
There is a big book on the table.
That's what, a $250,000 book?
It's the most recent study on the marine highway system, and I didn't bring all of the studies I have on the marine highway system because that pile is already about a foot high, and this just adds about another 5 pounds on that. But this is the latest version that came out last week.
And the consensus on, privatization was one issue.
Well, that was one of the main issues, I believe, that was explored. What would the private sector interest be to outright take over? And I think that was outright dismissed to a large degree. But with everything in Alaska, there's no silver bullet answer for solving the issues. There's going to be a lot of different pieces that where the private sector will be able to play a meaningful role, but the public service mission that the marine highway system has needs to continue.
Actually, we're the only state that has a marine highway system. There's some commuter systems, but not highways.
This is very, very unique. Thousands of miles, and it's the only access to some of those acreage and communities. So it is something that has played a very meaningful role for community connectivity and commerce in our state.
So you're going to have to deal with the various system issues, which now have become very complex.
They are very complex, and I think that some of the things that we've seen, coming out of this study here is really a need for a long-term plan. It's a $100 to $150 million a year enterprise, and the lack of a long-term plan has really crippled it at a time where there's not the funds to just write a check to overcome inefficiencies. So we have...
But actually, it's a transportation system that pays us something for its use.
It's something, but it's not, it's still only about a third of the cost. So yeah, that is something that has to be addressed. There will always be a cost associated with it, but we have to really identify the right size vessels and the right size crews on those vessels to be deployed to the communities at the right timing. So it'll have to be a lot more strategic, and until the state gets on better fiscal footing, there are obviously cutbacks in service, but we need to make sure that it doesn't cripple our economies at the same time.
And we had some unfortunate layups and stuff that took place that they didn't anticipate.
I'm told we have the oldest operating fleet of any ferry system in the Western hemisphere. So that is a big problem. Different administrations design different boats, and so there's not a lot of standardization, and that's an issue that continues to plague the system as it grapples with 50-year-old boats.
But is there an issue in the sense that we have a transportation system, one of our three, and somehow because you collect a fee to board and use it, people tend to think that it should pay for itself or pay more. I mean, it's an odd situation.
Well, Alaska's kind of an odd place. I don't know that any citizen really understands what their fair share of anything is when it comes to state services, and transportation is one for sure. And so it's where I think we have to really be able to clearly articulate what the value is. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to embark on this year as we work together with the state to really develop a long-range plan.
There's no fee for using our highways or our rural airports, so to speak.
Well, there are, but they're not as prominent.
There's
You know,
not.
there are the landing fees, there's the gas tax, and so I think, and those are, you know, key items that'll be discussed this legislative session as well.
It's going to be a tough session, and
It is.
one of the quests is to find more money and not, you know, liquidate all our cash reserves that we need.
Right.
This has been Capital Views, and I'm Mike Bradner. We're talking to Robert Venables, the Executive Director of the Southeast Conference. Got that right.
You got that right. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.